Story time. As a woman, have you ever had to move into masculine energy in your relationship just because you thought that would help fix things? Because I know I have. I've had two clients recently come to me with situations in relationships where they had to overcompensate for their partners, and then it ended up harming the relationship. And when I heard this, I couldn't help but think about one of my own past relationships with this guy. He was talking a big game. He said he wanted to do all these things. He had all these hopes and dreams. And I believed him, because why wouldn't I believe him? You know, when someone tells you something, initially you want to believe them. But what I came to realize later is that he didn't actually have the drive to want to do these things. He just liked to talk about them. He liked the idea of maybe having the drive, but he didn't actually have the drive. So I ended up overcompensating in that relationship. I ended up doing everything. And so what that did is it put me into my masculine energy and it put him into his feminine energy. And the whole dynamic of the relationship flipped. I could feel him and the relationship slipping away. And I, at the time, wasn't aware of what the problem was. I wasn't aware that what I was doing and trying to help, trying to nurture and mother and be supportive and show up for him and do the things for him that I would want him to do for me. If it was like a role reversal, I didn't realize what that was doing. It was actually killing the relationship because he had no purpose. He wasn't showing up financially. He wasn't showing up physically. I mean, he'd be like, I need you to turn me on. What? I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm paying for things, I'm driving to the suburbs, and now I need to turn you on. Okay, sorry. I went on a little tangent here, but I think women will get this. When you have to do everything in the relationship, it becomes exhausting. And then when your partner then says that he's not appreciating it, it makes you feel like, what am I doing here? Why am I even here? Why do you not appreciate everything I'm doing? I'm literally breaking my back trying to make you happy, and you're not appreciating any of it. And that's because you're taking the responsibility away from them. And I'm not saying that the dynamic has to be this exact masculine, feminine 50-50, because we're humans and things don't work out that way. If you don't have balance in the relationship and one person's overcompensating and doing everything, things aren't going to work well on the other side for the other partner. There's a lot of things that can happen, right? Resentment is something that builds up. So the person that's doing everything, it's curse of the competent. They're going to feel resentful. They're going to be so upset and feel unappreciated. And they're also going to feel like they're drained of the energy. And then you know what the other person's going to do? They're going to continue to take because they've already been used to taking. And they probably aren't even aware that they're taking so much, because if you have gotten into this place where the dynamic of the relationship isn't in this perfect balance, whatever the perfect balance looks like for you, then it's doomed. Just like my relationship, it was doomed. It was so bad at the end. And I just kept thinking, how do you not see what I see? How do you not see all the energy and effort that I'm putting into this? How are you being so selfish? Because that's how it felt. It felt like he was being so selfish in the relationship, but it's because he had no purpose. He didn't have a plan. He didn't have any drive. And here I am, someone with a lot of drive and a lot of purpose. I had to even show him how to make money on the side. It was it was crazy. I look back on that time and he was such a nice guy, but this was one of those good on paper guys. He's very sweet, super personable. People really liked him, but that didn't mean he was a good partner. He didn't have a lot of self-worth or self-value at the time. And so I tried to show him how he could have that. But the problem is, I can't do that for him. The external validation isn't ever going to fill anyone up. It only lasts for so long. That's like people that have shopping addictions, right? They buy. They collect all this stuff and they're constantly surrounded by all these things, and they're still not finding happiness because you're looking externally for the validation that you need to have internally. So this was a long tangent about this ex-boyfriend. I'm so agitated thinking about it. But I'm sharing this because I hope it helps other women. If you're in a relationship and you feel like you're doing everything, you immediately need to start doing less. Leave the dishes in the dishwasher. Don't pick up. Don't do the laundry. Just stop doing so much. And I understand it might irritate you, but you're killing yourself and you're killing your relationship. What that communicates is that you don't actually value yourself. And your partner needs to know that you fully value yourself and you put yourself first, because then it gives them the drive to show up better. They're either going to show up for you the way that you want them to show up, or they're not, and you're going to see the reality for the situation. I mean, you don't have to do this, but this is just what I've seen. I've seen this in so many relationships. I have my own experience in this also. No one should have to feel like they're carrying the weight of the full relationship. It's called a partnership. It's not fair. So perspective is probably the lesson here. Perspective and relinquishing control and allowing yourself to be upset in these micro moments for the greater good of your own health, worthiness, and potentially relationship.